Hello everyone. In this video, we break down the core concept of indirect taxes, how the tax burden shift to consumers, and analyze their key characteristic from convenient collection to their regressive nature. Perfect for economics, commerce, and finance students. Start by defining what an indirect tax actually is. It applies directly to the production, sales, purchase, or consumption of goods and services. Instead of being paid straight to the government by the individual, it is remitted by intermediaries like businesses. The most critical feature to highlight here is the shiftable burden. The person or entity writing the check to the government is not necessarily the one bearing the final economic cost. So, now we are going to see the features of indirect taxation. The first one is shifted of tax burden. Let's look closer at how this burden shifts. Producers or sellers legally remit the tax to the state, but they typically build that cost into the retail price. As a result, the economic burden transfers entirely to the final consumer via higher prices. This explicit separation between the legal payer and the actual bearer is the absolute core of indirect taxation. Second one is levy on goods and services. Unlike direct taxes like income tax, which targets what do you earn, indirect taxes strictly target what do you spend. They are imposed at various touch points during production, at the point of sale, during a purchase, or upon final consumption of both physical goods and intangible services. Next one is convenient collection. Why do governments love indirect taxes? Because they are incredibly convenient to collect administratively. Instead of chasing millions of individual citizens, the government simply collects the revenue through a much smaller pool of centralized manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, or service providers. The next one is wide coverage because almost everyone in a society has to consume basic goods and services to survive. Indirect taxes inherently have massive coverage. They cast a wide net affecting a large, diverse cross section of society regardless of demographic boundaries and difficult to evade. Tax evasion is a massive issue globally, but indirect tax offer a strong defense against it because these taxes are baked into the price at multiple stages of production and distribution. By passing them completely is exceptionally difficult for the everyday consumer. Encourages or discourages consumption. Indirect taxes are powerful tools for social engineering and public health. Government intentionally hike up taxes on harmful products, often called sin taxes, such as tobacco and alcohol, to intentionally reduce their consumption. Conversely, they can lower or eliminate taxes on essential goods like basic groceries to make them affordable for everyone. And the next one is policy and revenue uses. So fundamentally, these taxes serve two major functions: broad based revenue generation to fund public infrastructure and behavioral economic incentives. They provide the state with immense fiscal flexibility because tax rate can be adjusted quickly in response to shifting economic climates. The next one is regressive in nature because Everyone pays the exact same tax rate at the counter regardless of how much money they make. These taxes disproportionately hurt lower income groups. A flat tax on a loaf of bread takes a much bigger percentage of a poor person's daily income than a wealthy person's.
Thank you.